Hey guys, and welcome, fellow stay-at-home dads. Again, my name's Kevin. I'm the Real Adventure Dad. I'm here to just kind of give you some tips and some strategies for making some more money. Again, welcome and thank you for all jumping in. If you're in here, go ahead and drop a comment with your name and how many kids you have and how old they are. Just kind of get an idea to know who's here. But yeah, so basically today's RAD session is on making more money, side hustles. Being a stay-at-home dad can be very rewarding. I love it. But it can also be challenging to figure out how to make money. I mean, obviously, we still need to provide. We still need to have money to provide for our kids. We still need to all that stuff. I'm lucky enough my wife does pretty well herself, so we don't need a lot of money. But it's still nice for me to get to bring some income into our family household. So what we'll do today is kind of give you a broad view, a few strategies that just talk about real briefly, and then if you want, we can sit in, and if you want more information, we can sit in and schedule a call or some messages or whatever. But again, I just want to give you a broad view of ways that stay-at-home dads can bring home some more money for their household. So if you have any questions, just go ahead and drop in the comments. Otherwise, I'll just kind of roll along. First off, one good way to do is just freelance work. Stay home. We all have different skills. Writing, designing, programming. If you're good at writing, if you're good at marketing or whatever, you can use websites like Upwork or Fiverr, and you can sell your services. I personally use Fiverr for creating a privacy statement for my website. I've used them for helping me write my articles for my all my structure for my business. So if you're good at programming, good at writing, good at designing, you can sell your services for whatever price you want on sites such as Upwork or Fiverr. I'm gonna go ahead and put those in the chat so we can know exactly what they are. So yeah, so if you got your own skills, sell them out. Another one to do is sell products online. If you have a hobby or a skill set that you can turn into a product, sell it. Sell it on Etsy or eBay or even Shopify. My neighbor, for example, he loves woodworking and he's been doing all his life. He retired. He started making little cars, and he actually sells them on eBay. And he doesn't make a lot of money off it, but he enjoys doing it. He does it in his own spare time, and he puts it out there and he sells products. Another strategy is if you have a larger house and you have an extra bedroom, turn it into an Airbnb, rent it on Airbnb. Got to be careful on that one. I know my wife and I have talked about, we're a little hesitant to do it right now just because kids and strangers in our house. But if you have, say, a basement, like a walkout basement, or above garage room, something that you can rent out to visitors and have them not interact with you a lot, that's a great way to steady income coming in. Some other things you can do is, obviously, I have a huge basement and I have all sorts of junk and crap in here. People want it, people buy it. So if you have instead of doing a garage sale, sell all the stuff you don't need. Your old skis, your old lawn equipment, all the stuff you don't use anymore. Get on eBay or Facebook Marketplace and sell them. It's a great way just to, one, clean up your house, and two, make some more money on the side. One thing that I want to look into is actually Turo, platform Turo. Basically, that is you can rent your car out. It's kind of like a Uber, but instead of you driving people around, you can rent your car out for people in a business, and they'll come in and they'll borrow your car for a couple of days and they'll pay you for it. One of my friends is doing that, and of course he has a much nicer car than I do. But yeah, I mean, if you want to sell a car, to rent your car out and let people borrow it, it's a great way to make use of an asset that you're not necessarily using at the time. I'm gonna drop that in. So yeah, renting your car out, again, great way to bring some more money in. This kind of sounds kind of childish, kind of like teenagers, but services like lawn care or dog walking, if you're good at it, consider offering to your neighbors or your friends. I mean, it's a great way to bring a couple extra dollars here and there. Um, you know, dog walking is a huge one, or even dog sitting or pet sitting. Um, People are always looking to, they have that dog that can't, they're working and they don't have time to take it to themselves, so they'll pay you money to walk their dogs for them. One thing I started doing a little bit is doing taking online surveys. You're not gonna make a whole lot of money doing online surveys, but it could be money coming in, and there's a bunch out there. Just make sure that if you are going to do online surveys, you do your research and you find reputable companies, and that they're not a scam. There's a lot of scams out there, but there are also a lot of good companies that are doing online surveys, and they will pay you to take surveys. They'll pay you to do product reviews, all sorts of fun things. Let me drop that in there real fast also. These are the ones I found that are pretty reputable and have good reviews, and they actually are for real and not someone just trying to get your information. But these ones, they don't ever ask all your personal information. But here are just a few that could that you can take online surveys. Some take 5 minutes, some takes 30 minutes, some pay you $1, some pay you $5. But just, if you're sitting bored at your house and your kids are in bed and you have some spare time, jump online and take some surveys. Along with that, another one thing you do is if you have any specialized equipment, rent it out. Say you have a wood chipper that and you live in a area of your state that has a lot of trees, and a lot of people have trees they're trying to get rid of, and you have that wood chipper. You can rent it out, and you can charge people, and they will come borrow your equipment and use it and return it. User.com, Chris? Okay, I've not tried that one. I'll have to check that one out. Thank you. One thing I'm trying to start doing also is teaching a class, or if you have a skill. For instance, I'm pretty good at Excel, and that I've found a lot of, like my previous jobs, a lot of my friends and coworkers weren't necessarily super. Excel is, they can basically put their cells in and that's it. But if you can give a class on that, you can sell that class online, and you can start making pretty good income just by selling your knowledge. So yeah, teaching a class, or even offering lessons. Say you're a guitar player, and you can teach someone how to play guitar. They'll pay you for that. I actually paid for bought my wife guitar lessons, and I got on Google and I found a 19-year-old kid that lived about 3 houses up from me, and he came and we paid him, I think it was like $30 a lesson or whatever, and he taught my wife how to play the guitar. So if you have that skill that people are looking for, sell it. Try to bring some money in for it. Another one that's really big right now is selling digital projects. I mean, if you have expertise in an area, consider selling user interview. Okay, I will check that out, Chris. Yeah, so offering, selling digital products, ebooks, blogs, whatever. Just if you can sell a digital product, that's an inventory that will always be around, and it's an easy sell. And all these will take some work, but once you get used to doing these things, it's a great way to make some money. Offering consulting services. My wife is a CPA, and she's also in junior league, and she recently had one of the girls in her junior league ask hey, does anyone know how to do taxes? And my wife was like, well, I do. So the lady came over and hung out in my wife's at-home office and for a couple hours, and my wife told her how she had a brand new business and she's trying to get set up, and my wife set her books up for her. And one, she made a great contact with this person, and two, the person paid her. And now she's kind of on the side. She'll have people come over and she'll give, consulting on accounting and on taxes, on doing your book. So if you have something that you're knowledgeable and you can consult people and have them pay you some money to do it. This next one will never happen to me, but I know in the big cities, so where parking's at a premium, and people have that you know they own their own parking spot and they pay for it. You can sub rent out your parking spot. Say you're going to go on a trip for a week, or you are never going to use your parking spot between these hours. You can lease that parking spot out to somebody, and they'll pay you to park in your spot. So again, I'm not sure how much those spots are worth, but I know in some cities parking is at a premium. So if you want a parking spot, or rent it out, or if you rent a parking spot already, sub rent it out. I know what that my son is starting to do is he's gone on Shutterstock, and he loves taking pictures, and he loves going out, like taking outdoor pictures. And that's one thing he wants to do. Eventually wants to go to school to be a journalist, my older son. And so he's selling his random pictures. Whenever he goes to national parks or whatever, he takes pictures and he sells them. There's tons of platforms out there that you would work. The ones that are probably the most popular are Shutterstock and iStock. Let me drop that in. So yeah, if you're a great photographer and you have that great digital camera, go on these platforms and sell them. You'd be surprised what people, the photos they like and they want. One that's really taken off right now is affiliate marketing. If you own a website or social media presence, look into affiliate marketing. That basically people will pay you to market their products. Sometimes it's through box openings or reviews, or just straight out promoting a product. There's tons of companies out there that want you, that have the marketing budget, and they just don't know how to spend it, and so they're giving it to people to promote their product for them. So instead of Amazon promoting a certain product, you promote it on your social media account, and they'll pay you basically a commission for everyone that gets sold. Again, this one will, I won't say it's easy and it's not hard. It takes some work to get going, but once you get going on it, it's a great way to try out new products and promote them and get paid for it. A big one, which I'm trying to start my own blog. So if you have a passion for writing, or you just have a passion for sharing, create a blog and write, and share your experience as a stay-at-home dad. And one, that helps get your story out there, and two, it helps other stay-at-home dads or other people, and you eventually get monetized through advertising and sponsored content. Same with YouTube. Starting a YouTube channel, and if you can get enough followers, enough views, YouTube will start paying you for advertising space. So again, this one is not easy to get into, but once you do it, and once you get going, and you get that following, you get more and more people on it, the advertising will come. Real quick, there are a few experts out there who are really good at this, and I've started following myself and really learned a lot from. They're Dave Taylor. Dave Taylor created the website AskDaveTaylor.com. And he has tons of experience with freelancing and making money online. Another one is John James. John is another stay-at-home dad and entrepreneur also. He has built multiple successful online businesses. He offers tips and advice on his blog and YouTube channel. And also Matt Schneider. Matt Schneider is another stay-at-home dad and blogger who writes about his experiences and offers practical tips for other stay-at-home dads. So obviously, having that blog out there, and if you get your name out there, people start following you, and then other people start promoting you. So it's kind of like follow these guys. I'll go and drop their names in. I think I'll drop their names in. Yeah, again, these are other stay-at-home dads that have mastered how to make. Hold on one second. Chris, no, you don't need your own website or domain for affiliate marketing. It definitely helps, but you could do affiliate marketing through Facebook, through Amazon. ClickBank is ClickBank.com is a pretty big list of companies that will give you that want to pay you to promote their different products. Again, it will take some legwork to get it set up, but that's again just the more people you have and the more people you know, and it's all about influence, about selling your presence online. And if you have followers, then the more followers you have, the more likely you are to get people willing to pay you to promote their products. A good example is one my wife sent me out to. It's a girl called the Mother Chick. I'm sure your wives may know her. Basically, it's this girl that all she does is buy clothes, and then she basically takes a video or a picture of herself, and she promotes those clothes, and she does an affiliate link to those brands, and she now has way more followers and views than anyone I can imagine. And she's extremely well off now just from promoting different clothes she wears, and all she does is she'd buy them, and she'd take a picture of herself and or a video of her and her kids, and hey, look at this thing I bought from Macy's, or hey, look at this thing I bought from Nordstrom's, and then she'll link it to it, and she gets commission on those sales. So yes, you don't need a website, or your own domain. It helps. It's one way to do it, but you don't need it. And also, you guys, these are very 40,000 foot level, distance away. If you want more information, I'd love, I don't mind sitting and talking to you guys one on one. Drop me an IM or drop me a message or whatever, and we can schedule a call where I can go a little more in depth into these different strategies. The affiliate marketing is one that is taking off a lot right now. That's a pretty big. A lot of people are doing it, and a lot of people are making a lot of money doing it. And it's something that you can do at home. You can do on your spare time. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it does take some dedication early to get it going. And like I said, I would, love to sit down and talk to you guys about it and go more in depth into it. And that's pretty much it. Those are main strategies. Again, it's we all want more money. I could definitely use some more. I want to buy my kids more stuff. I want to go on adventures with them, and stay at home with them is wonderful. But we still have to pay the bills. And we still have to bring in that income to do what we want to do and to spend the time with what we want to with them. So that's pretty much it for this one. Next week I'm going to talk about ways to save money, ways to cut those costs, and way to make that dollar go a little further. The dollars you are bringing in, there's lots of ways to make it go further. So that's what we'll be talking about next week. Pretty much all this content, everything we talked about today, I'm going to drop into my blog. I am starting a blog. It's not that good, but it's growing. But it's realadventuredad.com, and I'm going to drop tomorrow morning. I'll drop all this information into that blog on ways to make money. So it'll be there kind of more in written material, so you don't necessarily have to remember all this stuff. That's it. Thanks for jumping in, guys. And I hope to see you guys next week. And that's it. Thanks for joining. I'll talk to you guys later.